Today we're going to take a look at how to pull a mailing list from RPR to start farming. RPR is Realtor Property Resource. Anyone who's part of NAR, National Association of Realtors, has access to RPR. And you can see at the very top, the URL or the link to RPR is narrpr.com. If you don't have an account, it's really easy. Just make a free account and then it will open up and you're good to go. So again, narrpr.com and you'll be in RPR. And you want to be on the home page. Now, when you want to do prospecting, see if I click prospecting button, it's going to pop up and give me some different ideas of what to walk through. So it does have a tour if you want to follow the step-by-step tour. I'll actually show it with the tour just so you can kind of get used to how it works, and I'll explain it as we go. So I'm going to hit prospecting, then I'm going to go for buyers, and then I want to click research at the top, and then I want to do map search. And you see I can do a lot of other searches in here. I can search for a specific property, market trends. I can search neighborhoods. I can do all kinds of information on RPR. It has a really good stuff. A lot of information today. I'm only going to show you this map search section. Then when I click map search, like it opens up like this. As I mentioned, I'm doing residential, so you can do a commercial search, but I want residential. And then I'm going to say next again, and then it's going to say to pick an area. So I want to use a subdivision that I've farmed before in San Antonio area, which is Northeast Crossing. So I'm going to type in Northeast Crossing, and then it pops up and says an area in San Antonio. And this is Northeast Crossing, that subdivision. That's where it is right there. So you can do a couple different things. You can search city. You can search zip code. The better idea is not to have too many choices, because if you overdo the choices, you're going to have too many numbers. You don't need to get 10, 20,000 homes that are showing in there, because your computer isn't going to handle that. It's better to try to, get 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, a list you can actually work. And it kind of works from there. So again, I have Northeast Crossing. I'm going to click the filter button like it says, and this gives me an option to do some cool different things. Now, if I was in here, if I wanted to include any for lease, all that kind of stuff, but I want public records. Remember, I'm pulling a list for farming. So I'm going to pull public records. And then right now you see I want all single family. So I'm just going to follow their steps so you can see it. And right now, like it says, best results is about 500 or so. I say that's a good to work with for a month or two. I try to pull a couple thousand when I can. I'll show you why this says 102 in a minute. And then I'm going to say, okay, next. Now, as you can see, as I went down, I didn't mess with any of these because I don't care. I want all the choices in there. I want all single family homes. That's pretty much everything in this community. And then I'm going to go down like it's mentioning right here. And now there's two different ways you can look at this. You can look at owner occupied if you want, or I can do absentee owner. Now remember, I mentioned that I want buyers. So if I go to absentee owner, as this box says, it'll help you prospect directly to renters. So that means the owner doesn't live there. So if the owner doesn't live there, then that means the person who's living there is a renter. So that's why I did absentee owners. And I'll show you how it works for sellers after. And then we're going to hit OK next. And then select how many years owned. I don't do 0 to 5 years because I want to have some equity. So I do these here. I wish we had like a 3 to 5 years, but we don't. So I'm going to do a 5 to 10, like right here. But again, I don't mind on this one. I can add that 0 to 5 because if I want to do that, this is for renters, not owners. So I can add all of them for renters. If it was a seller's list, I would want to turn that off. And I say, great, I pick it. And then I'm going to go right here, update and search. It's going to do a quick search and tell me. So there's 238 properties right here that are renters. So I just pulled 238 renters. So these are all potential buyers just from that subdivision. Now, if I click mailing labels, it opens up. And as you can see right here, I can do a CSV, whatever, PDF. If you're going to print them and turn them into labels like it would be stuck right on an envelope, I recommend going to Avery 5160 button in PDF. And then when you download them, they're going to be a really nice list right there. You can just throw in an envelope and mail them. Now, right now, you see the address type is going to the property and it's going to the owner name. And that's what I wanted to say, owner name, or I could say current resident. If you do current resident, it looks a little too spammy. So that's kind of, kind of like that. So I wish there was a better way we could get, again, it's harder to say you can't do both. I wish you could do owner name or current resident. So that's kind of the annoying part there, but it is what we have to work with. I'm just kind of showing you some different things in here. Now, right here, I can customize it. Right now, it says, I'm going to hit next to kind of show you what it goes to next. So right now, it's the address type. So the address type, if I go to the property, those are my renting. If I go to the tax billing, you see this changes, like this one's in Austin. These are the actual investor or the owners that don't live there, their addresses. So I actually have two lists out of here. If I go to property list, I have a list of, see right here, records 235. I have a list of renters. If I go to tax billing, I have 188. Those are my investors that live in those properties that aren't the owners. So I can get two lists from here, one for renters, one for investors. And then, of course, I don't want any duplicates, anything like that. And then if I am going to hit next to show what it's going to ask you next, shows you the address. We just talked about that. And then if I want to make sure that I'm targeting the renters or the investors, I want to make sure I do absentee owners again. And now it's tax billing. These are the investors. Go back here to property. Those are my renters. Again, make sure those two buttons. And then I have the absentee. And then I'm going to say, great, I'm targeting renters. Yes. Now it gives me an idea. Now for RPR, Realtor Property Resource, you can only download 2,000 files per month, which is quite a bit. So that's kind of great. So you can do 2,000 files per month to work on. That should be plenty of files to email, send out. That should be a lot. Even if you're sending 200 to 300, I recommend about 200 mail outs a week, or 200 to 300, depending on what your business plan is. You can sometimes do 200 a month. What we're seeing, if you do a good mail out and build a nice letter or a nice envelope, this gives you addresses for if you want to do postcards as well, depending how you want to do it. If you send out about 250 to 300, the last time we helped some people do it at E&V Title here in San Antonio, we built some marketing, sent it out for them. They ended up getting out of about 280 or so, anyway, around 300. They ended up getting 3 listing appointments out of it, and they got all 3 listings. And then they all sold within like a month and a half, because they priced them correctly. So know your subdivision when you're farming, and then you're going to pick it that way. And then once you have that, you're going to hit OK Next just to kind of show that it's there. And then if you hit print, it's going to print right now with the property address. And then I would change it to the thing and I'd print it again. So you can do 2 different printings. One for the tax billing, which is your investors, and investors talking about, tapping your equity, etc. And one for the property, which is your renter to buyers. Now, if I change this to owner occupied, and then it changes because it's no longer that one. So to do that one, I'm probably going to redo the whole system because this wants to only work on that. And then and then again, if you want to do premium labels, all that, you can do it through the system. So I'm going to close that right now. So that's how I get my ones for my buyers. Now, if I go back to home and I hit prospecting and I get sellers, I can do the same thing. I click research, I go to map search, and again, I'm just following there. You can just follow the little thing. I'm in residential. Great, I pick my area, Northeast Crossing. I want to do the same thing. I'm going to hit my filter. Public records, great, I got my public records. And then I'm going to make sure you see which one I'm at. I'm at 238 because I haven't changed anything. Now with this one, again, I want single family. Everything else looks good, okay. Now this one I want owner occupied. And because that's what I want. I want people to own their home. But I don't want anyone that just bought it because there's no equity. So I'm going to do owner occupied. I'm going to take off that time owned. And then I'm going to update and search. So now it changes. Now I have 600. See right here, 664 found. So that's great. All these properties are owner occupied. So remember, my other list was renters and buyers. This one is a list now for my owners. And I go to mailing address again at the top. 5160. Great. I want PDF so I can just print them. It's going to be sent to the property and the owner's name because we know that's the owner address. And then I'm going to hit next again, just property, owner's name. Looks great. I'm going to make sure occupancy type all. Now I want owner occupied, so I'm going to change that to owner occupied, which is your 655 because I want to separate my list. And then once I do that, you can show your list. I've got it great. I can do 2,000 a month as before. Ready to go, print or export. Very simple. Now, again, these little steps is really nice to help you kind of walk through. Once you've done it a couple times, like I can do it really quick, as you can see, I went a little too faster. But if you just pause the video and come back, you can watch it. You can do each one separate, and this will walk you through step by step. I showed their little prompts on purpose, so you get used to seeing it, so you can see how easy it is to just follow the way they're showing it to you. So you kind of know exactly where to go, and then you just hit print. And now, when you hit print, of course, it's going to print. And then when it prints, it's going to save it as a PDF. And then you just put in the Avery 5160 labels. You can buy them at Walmart, anywhere like that, very inexpensive. And you just put them right into your printer, hit print. Once you have them downloaded as a PDF, you print right to your printer that has the labels. And then you're good. And then your labels are in, printing's done. You can just knock it out, and then you can do your whatever type of letters you're doing. Now for the letter types, we'll do another video on some of the better ways to do the letters. And we do have some classes where we can go through and we'll talk about letters and how to format them and things like that. We're going to have another video coming up in the YouTube channel that way. Talk to you all soon. Hope you have a great day. Go get some listings.